Lulu. You gotta both be in the chat. Good. Okay. Making her little wrap-up video. Good girl. Okay, so this past couple of days, good girl, has been focused on establishing a marker system, her response to the different markers that I use. A marker is just a cue or sound that marks a specific moment in time that I like something that she does, and then it will present food, a food reward. So obviously she doesn't know what any of these words mean, so we've been working to establish an association. So every time she hears the marker, food is presented. She has multiple markers that all mean different things as far as expectations within each behavior. So over time, that association is created so that when she does the behavior that I like, I mark it, and that behavior then will take on the good feeling of food so that she continues to do it. So right now I'm really using it to help her build engagement with me because she is very motivated by her environment. She's very easily distracted, normal puppy things. And then because she is crazy, just a little, not crazy, active. You're active. I'm gonna use the duration markers to help slow her down a little bit and get her thinking things through and being a little bit, hey, what are you over there for? Being a little bit more responsive to the things that I have to say. So engagement first, duration second. So her different markers are yes, good, okay, and no. Yes means, I like what you did there, come get something from me. So there's nothing past me marking. She doesn't have to do anything after that. She just has to come take food from me. She has to take food from me. If she does not, the moment is lost, I put the food away. So I'm not going to say yes and then chase her around trying to get her to take food. If she doesn't want it, she doesn't have to take it. I'm not gonna go out of my way to give it to her. If she is refusing food, that means that she's over threshold and the environment is too overstimulating. So the benefit of being here is that we have this training room, it's nice and quiet. Usually my dogs are in here in the crate over there, but they're not right now. So there's not a lot competing with her attention towards me, so I want her to understand the things that I'm teaching her without conflicting distractions and motivators. So if you like this, I very much so recommend incorporating these markers in your day-to-day life to help build that engagement and so on. So if you take her out somewhere and you're saying yes and she's still doing something else, we need to start a little bit back with less things happening. So inside the house, backyard, front yard, maybe outside on the road, before you take her to like a shopping center or there's a bunch of dogs walking by, that's just too much too soon. So yes means I like what you did, come take food from me. I'm usually using that to build enthusiasm and behavior. Moving forward, every time she hears the word yes, food will be presented to keep the value within that marker. Good and okay, those are gonna be our duration markers, meaning when I lure her into a behavior, I'll say the word good, let her take food, good, take food, good, take food. And I'll do that at a frequency in which she's able to stay within the behavior. So some dogs, it's good, and then I can kind of move around, good, treats. Some dogs, as soon as I move my hand back, they're out of behavior, which was her initially. No. So right now I'm pretty frequently giving her that good, and that is to keep her in behavior until I give her the release marker, which is going to be okay, meaning she can come out of behavior. So right now, when I say good, I'm bringing food to her. So if I say sit, when she's already a sit, good, I'm bringing food to her. No, sit, good, good, good. And then, gotta get more foods, good. Okay, she can come out of behavior. Again, these markers, well, not again, but these markers down the line, down the road, as we progress, they do not always have to be followed with food. They can be a little bit more neutral. But right now I'm trying to create that association. So every time she hears them, she's going to get food. Okay will be the first one that I check out with. I want okay to be like, hey, you're done doing that, you can go do what you want. And it is important that she is released out of behavior for her to understand that it's important that she remains in behavior. If we just forget about her, let her come out when she feels like it, then there's no reason for her, there's no consequence, there's no value in her remaining in behavior in the first place. We're not really doing too much of it right now because she's still very much so in the learning phase where it's all positive reinforcement. As she starts getting a little bit more solid with consistency and going into behavior, when she comes out of behavior prematurely, I'll use the word no and follow it up with leash pressure to manipulate her back into behavior. Because again, I want her down the road to what I say to go into behavior. I want her to remain in that behavior until I tell her so otherwise. So if she comes out of behavior prematurely, I will say no, put her back into behavior, good, pay her, or good and leave her alone, and then okay, release her out. And these are all things that I'm going way more into detail with her, but I don't quite think that she's ready for any of that just yet at home. It's a little bit of manipulating how we reward and the frequency in which we do so to strengthen a behavior and make her want to try harder, try alternative behaviors, not do something, and so forth. So definitely, I think that at home, if you are utilizing that yes marker every time she is given food, that's going to be super beneficial in strengthening the response to that behavior. And you can use it to where you're building engagement. So every time she looks up at you, like she's literally just sitting here staring at me, that's because she knows that when she looks at me, she gets rewarded. Nope, don't need the leash. So I'll show you when she looks up at me. And now she's taking a nap. Yes. When she looks up at me, I pay her. And we started out in just this room where like we would walk around, and then yes, every time she looks up at me, makes eye contact, I pay her. And I don't care moving forward if she's staring at me all the time, but I want her to find value. Oh, my thing's not following me. I want her to find value in checking in with me, and I have to earn that. So we start out with these low distraction environments, and just gradually at her pace increase the criteria. So next, we've been going out front where there's cars and people walking around in the car shop, things like that, where she wants to check out and look, but when she pays back attention to me, I can capture that moment, yes, and pay her for it. And then, because you know she does like the barky stuff, fat dogs and things like that, I'll kind of play around with rewarding her attention to them, which seems backwards, but I'm going to reward her attention to them. Yes, her attention to them so that she learns that they have no value. Well, I should say, the value comes from me when she sees them. So they're neutral, they're there, they are not good, they're not bad, nothing good comes from them, but every time she sees them, good things come from her handler. So she starts, when she sees these triggers, in theory, she'll start looking to me to get her paycheck. Hey, there's a dog over there, pay me, slave. That's what I'm looking for, to kind of make her think it's her idea, that she disengages from things that she's right now barking at and showing a lot of interest. Her leash reactivity, that is very much so a social thing and not, like I don't think she's fearful or anything like that. That's her saying, hey, I wanna go say hi. And because she's being restrained, you know, she's allowed to say hi to dogs sometimes. She's here at daycare, allowed to go play with dogs, and then all of a sudden we're on a walk and she can't go say hi. That's a little bit of, it's conflicting for her. It's frustrating to be restrained. So I first want to change the mindset of like, hey, like, yeah, those things are there, but good stuff comes from me. And then later, once I know she understands the picture of how to walk next to my side and blah, 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 I can tell her no, that she's not allowed to engage with them. So we're not there yet. I don't want to do any of that yet because it's not fair. This is where we are right now. Hope this is somewhat informative. She's very engaged within nothing, and she's doing super great as we go into, like, again, we go out front of the main building, the kennel building, and just kind of up and down the road. So we're not gonna go out, probably later this week, we'll probably go a little bit down the road, but I like to take that thing at the dog's pace, and she's showing me that she's a little distracted still within those types of environments. All right, you're done. Give your